way I got into sport when I was younger was through school. Track and field, well, he was my PE teacher, or I don't even know if it was a PE teacher. He was an art teacher at school when I was about 7. He looked out the window, saw me run across the road, the playground for football, and he came down and said, "You look fast, you look like you can run quick, try out for the school team," and I did.
So when did you start kind of training regularly?
I changed school when I was about 10, and of course football was the thing then. And I didn't, there was always a teacher there trying to tell me to run and do it, and even though I didn't want to. Then I got to, gosh, I think when I must have been about 16, something like that. Then the teacher in my secondary school, Linford Christie, took me down to the track and made me join a club and everything else, and it just sort of developed from there. But I didn't start training seriously until I was about 25.
And how difficult was it for you to kind of balance school life and kind of running and training?
Well, for me it wasn't really difficult, because at the time, I mean, when I ran my first sort of big thing when I was about 19, I went to what they call the English schools, and by then I was at college and everything else, so I wasn't training and putting all the time in, that the athletes are doing now. So for me it wasn't difficult at all. I didn't start taking athletics seriously until after I finished schooling.
What did sport kind of give you as a child?
Health. The thing is, what I got from sport as a child was health. It kept me healthy. I was hardly ever sick, and on top of it, it gets you out there. You meet some great people. I made some really good friends from the sport and everything else, and it keeps you active. So I didn't have time to be doing the things that I wasn't doing, because I was always out there doing some kind of sport.
Do you think it's good for a child to kind of focus on one sport straight away, or?
No, I don't think kids should concentrate on one sport. You never know what your forte is. I started off doing triple jump and long jump, and I ended up being a sprinter. If you look at someone like Usain Bolt, he started off running 400 meters and everything else. Now he runs 100 meters. So you've got to try things and try and find the event that is right for you. You may be doing one and you may think, okay, this is it, but it may not be at all. Maybe you just haven't got that kind of attribute. And once you get a coach, they will always be able to tell you exactly, what direction to go.
And what do you think is the biggest challenge for parents who have kind of children as athletes?
Biggest challenge is money. Money's going to be the problem, and time, as always. I mean, I think as a parent, what we are the minicabs. We are the taxis. We take the kids to and throw to various events and things they want to do. So I mean, I think that's the biggest issue. You've got to spend a lot of time, a lot of money, on trying to give them, the support for whatever they want to do.
And where do you think the line is drawn between, I suppose, being an encouraging parent and a pushy parent?
There's a thin line between, an encouraging parent and a pushy parent. And the thing is, as a coach now, I don't coach athletes where their parents are too involved, because it can be a big problem. They always feel, first of all, sometimes the danger, they want to relive their misspent, youth or childhood through the kid now. So that, it's very, it's very dodgy and dangerous grounds, I feel, that we're going on. I think, you should always in the background be encouraging that way. And also, a lot of parents want to coach. It's great when the kid's young to coach, but to be honest, when they get to a certain level, you don't want to be involved then, because the child never gets, and you never get away from it. You bring it home all the time. You bring home all your problems and everything else. So I think leave it to professionals. Even if you're a professional coach yourself, let your kids go and train with someone else. Don't get too involved in it.
What would be your kind of words of advice, I suppose, to an aspiring teenage athlete, and also the parents of that athlete?
Well, first of all, you'll go to the parents. Support the kid in whatever they do. You should always encourage your kids to take part in sport. Kids who take part in sports are healthier, they learn more at school, and where they are all the time. A lot of them are not out there doing things that they shouldn't be, because it's the discipline. They are more disciplined as kids, so therefore, support them in that way. And as kids, it's hard, but it's worth it. And at the end of the day, if it was easy, you'd do something else. So it's nice, you've got to do it. They always say, the hotter the battle, the sweeter the victory, and that's what athletics is, or sport is all about. It's going to be hard, but in the long run, it's definitely worth it.